Okay, worst kept secret in the world. I am also doing Black 2. That has been the plan all along, as I think was obvious. Let's see how the Unova region looks. Just 2 years after the events of the previous game. Hi there. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Professor Juniper. Everyone calls me the Pokemon Professor. Hermicino evolved. That's a new development in the last 2 years. That's right. This world is widely inhabited by mysterious creatures called Pokemon. Pokemon have mysterious powers. They come in many shapes and live in many different places. We humans live happily with Pokemon. Living and working together, we complement each other. We help each other out to accomplish difficult tasks. Having Pokemon battle one another is particularly popular, and it deepens the bonds between people and Pokemon. And that is why I research Pokemon. So, after the crisis over the relationship between people and Pokemon 2 years ago, this is part of our spiel now. Battling deepens the bonds. We saw it play out. Perhaps we'll see it play out again. Well, that's enough for me, she says. Could you tell me about yourself? And I will tell her about myself in just a moment, but I forgot to get my drink, so I'll just go quickly do that. Don't want to make this too difficult on throat here, however long this episode is. There we go. All set. I am a boy. Well, I was at some point. Obviously, we're gonna stick to the naming scheme here. Give our character the slightly unusual name, Black 2. Hey, it's just within the character limit. And White 2 would be the same number of characters, wouldn't it? You could do that in that game. Your name is Black 2? It sure is. So your name's Black 2. What a wonderful name. Could you tell me a little bit about your friend, the older boy who lives nearby? Would you mind telling me his name? Oh, is this the first time? There was the Silver Nuzlocke. This is almost the first time. But I have a canon name in mind for that rival. It's obviously question mark, question mark, question mark. This is almost the first time that I've had to actually name a rival in a playthrough for this channel. So, I could try to come up with something interesting. Or I could just name him his default name Hugh that is actually already filled in here. I would have to erase Hugh to name him anything else. I mean, the name Hugh is pretty well stuck for this character, and no mystery as to why, so I'll just name him that. We'll keep it simple. I could have named him White too, but no need. Hugh. Did I get that right? Yes. Black 2. Two kids setting out on their journey, the classic story. Hugh and Black 2. I'm going to entrust you with a Pokemon. I'm sure you'll be great partners. The moment you choose the Pokemon that will accompany you on your journey, your story will truly begin. During your journey, you will meet many Pokemon and people with different personalities and points of view. Yep, just like Black did before me. For Black 2 to have the same kind of experience, but it might be a little different. We'll have to find out together. I really hope you learn what is important to you as a result of your travels. You notice, by the way, her coat is kind of swaying, but the pixels are a little off. Like, and it kind of looks like there's dust falling from it when it moves or something. Maybe I don't ask too many questions about what that's about. Hope Professor Juniper's taking good care of herself, even as she works hard on her research. Anyway. That's right, befriend new people and Pokemon and grow as a person. That's the most important goal of your journey. Let's go visit the world of Pokemon. Let's do it. It is still spring. I'm actually recording this the day after the last episode of Black 1. The cherry blossoms are still going. Previous protagonist, Black, is probably still watching them. I do really like that lookout spot. That's a nice touch. We will, of course, go there shortly. And in general, I like the... it's different in each season, but I like the season-specific opening here regardless. What is it? Leaves in fall, a bit of snow in winter. Maybe it's also leaves in summer, but they're still green? I'm not sure. Here's our mom watching the cherry blossoms fall to the ground. In a new city we haven't seen before. Because we didn't go to this part of the region in Black 1. Oh, hi. Why, Aurea Juniper. Is this the first time that Pokemon Professor has had a canon first name in the games? I know Professor Oak is called Samuel in... well, at least in English he's called Samuel in, like, the anime and whatnot, but... and Samson Oak obviously shows up in Alola and plays on the name of his cousin Samuel Oak. So we can say that Samuel Oak is game canon, at least in English. But maybe not confirmed until Samson shows up, and even then it's only soft confirmation. In any case, I think this might be the first time that in the opening of a game they just stated the professor's first name. I don't think Elm or Birch or Rowan had a first name. It's been far too long. What can I do for you? ... Wow, a Pokedex. For my child? Why, that's great. I think a journey would be a wonderful experience. What now? What now? She's already here? Oh, for Pete's sake, you never change. Once you've decided on something, you just start going. Okay, Bianca, right? A big green hat. Got it. Okay, no worries. Nice little explanation, I guess, for why... obviously, in most games, the professor is located in or very close to your town. Not in all games, but in most. In this one, you're on the whole other end of the region in an area that we didn't even see in the previous games. So nice little explanation for why the professor recruits this kid specifically. That she is an old friend of the player character's mom. It's just nice that they had, you know, they thought about that and they had an answer. Not a huge deal or anything, just a decent touch. Black 2, I'm home. And here I am, Black 2. Look at that hair. Can't wear a cap like Black 1 because that hair is just not going to be contained, I guess. Fast text speed. Battle style set. This playthrough is going to be a little bit different Pokemon-wise. I'll explain when I'm getting a Pokemon. I might as well stick with that. Do you know Professor Juniper? She's a famous Pokemon researcher. Actually, she's an old friend of mine, and she called me today for the first time in ages. This is out of the blue, but Black 2. You want to have a Pokemon? Obviously, yes, but what if I say no? She's shocked. What? Oh, she literally said... I was just filling that in. She literally says, what? That's a shock. What if I say no again? She's like, what? Let's try that again. Do you want a Pokemon, Black 2? What? That's a shock. Really is deeply ingrained in the culture, huh? Of course, people at Pokemon bond. Black proved that when he defeated N in battle. It would be crazy to say that you don't want that. Here, I'll say it a third time. Let's see if this one gets through to her. What? That's a shock. I'll ask you again. Alright, well, I was just kidding. Yes, I want a Pokemon. Okay, step 1 completed. Well then, do you know what a Pokedex is? No. I see. It's an amazing device that automatically records the Pokemon you encounter. Yet another question. You want a Pokedex, right? No. I don't mean to be selfish, but I'd like it if you were a bit more agreeable. I've said no to everything. Having a Pokédex means traveling around the world. Think about that for a second. So I'll ask you again. You want a Pokédex, right? No. She says the same thing again. I'm having more fun with this than I thought I would, but we're not going to do a third one this time. We're just going to say yes. Okay, step 2 completed. Black 2, your course of action has been set. A girl named Bianca has come here to meet you. She's Professor Juniper's assistant. I was told to simply look for a big green hat. That's right, you're going to go look for Bianca, and then you'll get a Pokédex and a Pokemon to be your partner. Oh, your cross transceiver's in your bag, right? Do you know how to open your bag? What do you think I'm going to say to this one? No. I'll send you off with these words from adventure rules. I love when this gets into in-game dialogue. It really breaks the immersion for a moment. The X button is vitally important for trainers. You imagine, your mom asks you, "Hey, you're about to go off on a journey." You're like, what, 14-ish years old? However old the Unova protagonists are a little bit older than most Pokemon protagonists. Let's say 14-ish. Hey, you're gonna go off on a journey. Be all independent, bond with your Pokemon. You do know how to open your bag, right? Just imagine you're in this scenario in real life. Your mom asks you, "You know how to open your bag, right?" And to troll her, you say no, and she's like, "Alright, well, according to adventure rules, pressing the X button is very important." Whatever she just said. Anyway. Okay, off with you now. Go look for Bianca, okay? I don't know what I would think my mom was saying. Nah. There's an item option here called bag, but that's probably not it. I don't know how to open it. It is kind of funny. It's the most... Pokemon games have a lot of illusion of choice, but this is the most on-the-nose it's ever been. The game bothers to ask you whether you want a Pokemon. Obviously, you're supposed to say yes, because you're picked up and chosen to play a Pokemon game. But they pretend that the player character has, like, an actual dialogue option there. But I told her no 3 times, and she was like, "What? No, I'm asking that again. Certainly you do want one." It really... They were trying just to give the player a little bit more agency, right? They're at the very early end of experimenting with making Pokemon protagonists not quite silent. But it's a Pokemon game. There's not much real choice of that kind. There's lots of choice in what Pokemon you train and whatnot, but not the basic layout of your adventure. And so they were just trying to give the player a little bit more something there, but it kind of accidentally implies something a little bit not great about either this society or this specific household in it. That I talked about how living together with Pokemon is clearly so deeply ingrained in the culture of Unova that in Black 1 it was a little bit hard to imagine Team Plasma having all that much appeal, which is something that I got from a video essay I watched by someone else. I would shout them out by name, but honestly I don't remember their name, unfortunately, but that is out there somewhere. But also something I observed playing through the game myself, having previously watched that video essay. But now, it's almost like it's taken a darker turn. Like, it's so ingrained in the culture that of course you journey and live together with your Pokemon that there's no way a kid would ever not want to do that. No matter how many times they tell you, they must be mistaken. You're going on that journey whether you want to or not. Which is a fun contrast with Bianca's father trying not to let her go. Obviously, this is not really what they intended. At least I don't think so. But in trying to do something there, they accidentally implied something else. It's a model of a Ferris wheel that Mom bought as a souvenir. We got a Darumaka Pokédoll that Mom received in the past. Pokemon doll, excuse me. When you get knocked down, just get up again. Even if you're trying to knock yourself down, I suppose. Let's see if Mom has anything more to say. Girl's name is Bianca. She might be lost because it's her first time here. We got a fireplace. We got a chimney. We got a Wii. What's on TV? I can choose what channel to watch now? How did I miss out on the TVs in these games when they were new? The only thing about Black 1 is that there was lots of interesting stuff on the TVs, but I couldn't be sure what I was going to get any individual time I looked. Alright, let's watch the Celebrity channel. Let's go Pokemon Idols. Now we'll turn it over to Nancy. Interesting. Who's at Big Stadium? How are things over there? Hello, this is Nancy reporting from Big Stadium. It looks like the athletes are in the middle of practice right now. When they have a break, they are having Pokemon battles with fans. Everyone looks like they're having fun. It's a good reminder to me to always show appreciation to my fans. ... Keep watching? I'll watch a little more. Oh, I can choose the channel again. Okay, let's do one of each. Let's do battle next. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for Moves for Living. Oh, this was that thing about, like... We saw that, I think just last episode. That weird thing about how, like... if you get a gift you don't like, you could use Bestow to re-gift it. Just make sure you don't do it right in front of the person that gave you the gift. As if a Pokemon move is needed or even really useful for that. Let's see what we get here. Today we will learn about the move... Shell Smash? What are we going to do with Shell Smash? Let's see. Our guest expert is our favorite academic, Dr. Technic Al-Machine. Sorry, Professor Juniper. Dr. Al-Machine is my my hero now. A professor at Castelia University. Hello, I'm Dr. Al-Machine. Shell Smash is a possibly risky move where the user's speed, attack, and special attacks stats increase at the expense of defensive power. There's an effective use for this move in everyday life. I cannot imagine what this is going to be. Let's find out. For example, how about when you switch to a new school? This move could be the brand new start you might need. It could change your whole life. What? The announcer doesn't say... you'd think the announcer would say, what? That's shocking. But no, instead they say, I see. I learned a lot. Well then, everyone, until next time, goodbye. I don't know what the announcer learned. I didn't learn anything from that. I have no idea what Dr. Al-Machine was talking about. Probably just too brilliant for me to understand, right? What can you do? Didn't quite follow it like I did with the Bestow one. But hey, I might get very familiar with Shell Smash. I'm recording this, as usual, way in advance, like a month in advance. By now, I'm sure I have Prismatic Draft League Season 9 content up on the channel, but right now, as I'm recording, the draft is still going on. We're pretty far into the draft. We're getting close to the end, but it is still happening. And I have taken Blastoise first overall in this Sword and Shield draft, so... I don't know what kind of Blastoise sets I'm going to run exactly, but maybe by the time this goes up, I've gotten pretty familiar with Shell Smash. Who knows? We'll see. Let's watch the Variety Channel. Hey everyone, how you doing? Haha, whether you're feeling good or bad, it's time for Kukon Talk. This week's phrase is, check out this Pokemon. This is like telling someone, hey, have a look at my Pokemon. It's so cool. Woo! When you want to say that in Japanese, say this. Kono Pokemon mite. With this, you can show off your Pokemon to each other, right? Okay, thanks for watching this week. That was cool. That is actually super cool that they have that on the TVs in this game. Maybe some kids learned something. Anyway, I'm supposed to be looking for Bianca. She's probably lost. I can't be watching TV. But I can't be going around talking to the NPCs. You know how it is. Black 2's house, exactly what I expect to find on the mailbox with a child living there. The power of science is amazing. Now you can use communications to play with 100 people at the same time. Gotta love the power of science, guy. Gotta love this heavily forested, hilly area. For a starting city, this one has a fair bit of character. Hello. If you have a Pokemon with you, you can even walk outside of town. Hey there, Black 2. Going to have Hugh brag to you about his Pokemon again today? Whoa! Hugh has a Pokemon and I don't? Maybe my mom saw through me when I was trying to be like, I don't even want one. Because I'm jealous of Hugh. That must be what happened there. Look at this house. I want to have a Pokemon battle soon. What kind of relationship do you want with the Pokemon you meet? I'm happy just having them by my side. Aw. An interesting little building layout here. This is, of course, also the only starting town in the series that has a gym, but we'll get to that. Is that correct? Is it the only one? Surely, yes. Hi, Black 2. It's Hugh and his sister. That was probably his sister talking there. Hey, you get a Pokemon yet? What was that pose that Hugh just did? If I had face cam on, maybe I'd attempt it, but... Anyway. There aren't any Pokemon trainers around here, and I'm getting bored. What's that? ... A person named Bianca is giving you... Oh, probably I started to tell him, and he was like, what's that? I read that as if I'd shown something to him. Whatever. A person named Bianca is giving you a Pokemon? Really? Black 2. If you get a Pokemon, take really, really good care of it, okay? Yeah. Okay, let's go get your Pokemon. There's something I have to do. And to do that, I need someone I can trust besides my partner Pokemon. A person I can trust. That's right, I'm talking about you. You seem like you've got good instincts. You head on home. Okay, big brother. Bye-bye, Black 2. Alright! Let's go find that person named Bianca. Alright, so the thing that Hugh has to do is... Let's go! The thing that Hugh has to do is finding his sister's Purloin, right? Which was stolen by Team Plasma, which is why his sister talks about taking really, really good care of your Pokemon. We'll unpack that as we go, obviously. Still, you're really lucky to get a Pokemon. Aw. I don't think I had much choice in the matter, to be honest with you, Hugh. Anyway, let's lead Hugh into people's houses. It's too bad. If you had a Pokemon with you as well, you could compete with Hugh to see who is the better trainer. Ah, well, have I got news for you. Someday you will both go on a journey with your Pokemon too. Ah, well, have I got news for you. Look at this map. It's a cool map. I can't open it, but it's pretty detailed for how small it is, huh? You can see the Antralink area, you can see the Castilia... Not skyline, but like the urban core. You can see the desert, you can see some mountains. Not bad. Black 2, did you find that lady called Bianca? I hope you get a Pokemon soon. Oh, is this Hugh's sister? Did we send her home and then immediately come here and talk to her? Does that mean this is Hugh's house? You'd think there'd be a sign outside, or a mailbox outside that says Hugh's house. Your mom's really good at getting Pokemon to rest and making them feel better. Oh, this is the game where your mom used to work at a Pokemon Center, right? And she knows Professor Juniper from back in those days? Or maybe earlier? Were they like... Is there some lore that they were like college friends or something? I don't remember. I wish the trainer school would hurry up and open. There's so much about Pokemon I want to know. Look at the hills, look at the forest. I said that already. Trainer school under construction. What if I try to go in? Trainer school was just finished. No one is allowed inside until a teacher, or better said, a gym leader, starts working there. Alright, so that tells us that it's a gym. If we hadn't tried to go in, we wouldn't know that yet. Trainers are the ones who have their Pokemon partners battle. I hear gym leaders are really strong trainers. The view of Route 19 from the Outlook is Aspertia City's pride and joy. Also, I say first starting town with the gym, that's true. Clearly the gym is brand new, right? Like, it hasn't even opened yet right now. And they say a gym leader. Obviously, we're going to find out who the gym leader is, and it's going to be pretty obvious that he's new to this, but... This is not a city that's used to having a gym leader. It's a new development as, you know, things change. A few of the gym leaders we met 2 years ago have stepped down, and new ones have stepped up in different cities. This is a remote, isolated city on the edge of the Unova region, but very much a city on the rise. Which is appropriate in a city that reaches for the sky. People go on journeys to become adults. Maybe I should leave this city too. It wouldn't be the worst thing. Go see the region. Can we not go to the Pokemon Center either? Wait! I was just in the Pokemon Center. There wasn't anyone like that there. Dude, we've been wandering around for a while. She might have moved. Oh, he has different dialogue. There's something about him having me help him out. Now it's just hurry. Hurry! Let's look for that Bianca person. Okay, maybe she's over here, in this house. These houses are all in really interesting design, huh? The 2 stories, you can see the balcony in front, although none of those are accessible. They got different rooms upstairs. Aspertia City is in the corner of the Unova regions. This isn't exactly the big leagues for Pokemon battling. If you go to the center of Unova, there are many Pokemon trainers you can battle. Makes sense, right? Both remote edges are early game areas with relatively weak Pokemon. And in the middle of the region, things get more intense. More people concentrate. And wild Pokemon get stronger and stuff. Makes sense. Sensible region design. I haven't battled with my Pokemon, so it's still weak. Aw. Yep. I'm pretty sure your Pokemon is doing its best. And is a good doggo. Wonder if there's a Pokemon that was dropped on the ground somewhere. What? I don't know what that guy's talking about. Okay. My flaky fortune telling says that you'll beat a Pokemon. You know what? I'm putting my trust in her flaky fortune telling. Most people we've talked to here are just like, it's too bad you don't have one. But she knows. Sometimes wild Pokemon attack people, but the ones you befriend, the ones that stay by your side, are Pokemon too. That's right. Can I leave the city? That goes to Route 19. If we don't find Bianca here in town, I'll go check it for you, because I already have a Pokemon. No, it's illegal to leave the city without one. Alright, well, we've looked everywhere else. I guess the only place she could possibly be is up on the lookout point. Unova unfolds before your eyes. Can't wait. Oh, I get it. The Outlook is Aspertia's most famous spot. I'll bet Bianca is up there looking at the scenery. Come on, go get your Pokemon already. Good point, Hugh, but also, it's the only place we haven't checked yet. Other than the places you won't let me go. Because you're a little bit too on edge about this whole thing, if we're being honest. Listen, there's no way I got this wrong. I know we've got everywhere else. Let's sit on this bench and chill for a bit. Nice view, huh? No, I'm kidding. That's a nice view. Look at that. Never gets old. Look at that mountain in the distance. There are multiple mountains, but I mean the big one. Nice pleasant lake. That rippling water. Those trees. We might have to come back here in other seasons too, but anyway. It's so pretty. Who do you think this character in a green hat might be? Who's to say? Hey there, don't you agree? Oh, my name is Bianca. I'm the assistant of the Pokemon professor, Professor Juniper. By the way, I'm looking for someone. Do you know a person named Black 2? I think you know what I'm going to say to this, but anyway, here's what's become of Bianca after her journey before. She was, trying to find the best use of her talents, really going on a journey to find herself. Embracing the truth of who she is, looking for what she can do in this world, and years before Hop settled into Professor's assistant life. Bianca found something that suits her pretty well, didn't she? She doesn't have to be the best trainer or anything, but she can travel around the region and learn interesting stuff. We saw her helping Juniper with research in Chargestone Cave back in Black 1. She's really grown up. Anyway, I don't know a person named Black 2, sorry. Oh wait, you're Black 2. Wow, you're exactly like what I heard. Okay, she just blew right past that answer. Oh man, the illusion of choice is so funny so far in this game. Nice to meet you. I have a really important request to ask you. A request to ask me? That feels like a slightly unusual way of speaking, but I'm sure it's fine. Will you help us complete the Pokedex? No. No way. I must have misheard you, right? This is a very important request. Will you please help us complete the Pokedex? Do you think she'll say the exact same thing again? Yeah. Oh, I meant to say no again. Like 3 more times and then go, whoa, she misheard me 5 times in a row. That's crazy. But I accidentally hit yes. Oh well. That bit's a little bit cut short. What can you do? Oh wow, thanks. Your support will help Professor Juniper's research move forward. Anyway, filling up the Pokedex is totally fun. Music changed? Nope, the music just like restarted. Wait. Hello? Okay then. Ta-da! And here's the Pokemon that will be your partner. The music just restarted and then I had to talk to her again. I don't know what that was about. Now! Pokemon talk. here's the deal. At some point before this video, I keep changing my mind on exactly when, but probably like a few days ago, I released a video asking the question, what is my least favorite Pokemon in the whole series? I didn't do that originally for content. I just was genuinely curious about what the answer would be, and I decided to use the favorite Pokemon picker, basically in reverse. So picking the Pokemon I liked least on every screen, until ultimately my least favorite stood alone. Again, because I didn't know what my least favorite was, and I wanted to find out. But I decided to record it just in case I wanted to use it for content, and then, after deciding that a raw recording of me just clicking through the picker for however long was pretty boring, I ended up making a video summarizing what happened, and not just the final answer, but also various things I found along the way. But, because I hadn't originally done that whole thing for content, I didn't really have a plan for when to release that video. And like I said, it's probably been a few days ago or so ago when this goes up. And that's not a coincidence. Because if you've already watched that video, you know that the Pokemon that I actually identified as my #1 least favorite is from a later generation than Generation 5, so it's not in Black 2. But a lot of the Pokemon that hung around for a while and seemed like contenders for my least favorite are in Black 2. Not all of them from Generation 5, but quite a few of them are. I don't think that Gen 5 has bad Pokemon designs overall, but of the Pokemon designs that I don't especially like, many of them disproportionately do come from Gen 5. And another thing that I identified in that video, and the reason I'm talking about it here, is one reason that a Pokemon might show up in a list of my least favorites is not that I dislike it, but just that I don't really have any memories, fond memories of using it or anything like that. Like Clobbopus hung around for a while. I don't have any issue with Clobbopus, I just haven't really ever done anything with Clobbopus. So I don't have the same attachment to it that I have to some other Pokemon. And from that is where I got the idea. To try to make some memories and maybe shift some opinions of mine in this playthrough. So, I am not doing the Nuzlocke, fake Nuzlocke gimmick in Black 2. I already failed the fake Nuzlocke way early in Black 1 anyway. There's a certain continuity to this series. Instead, I will be playing through this game with a planned team of 6 Pokemon, and I have specifically selected 4 Pokemon that I don't especially like. Again, the one that I identified as my very least favorite is not in this game, but if you watch that video, you know of quite a few that I identified as among my least favorites that are in this game. And so that's the plan. And the way that interacts with the starter choice, obviously there are only 3 options here. In the Pokemon X version of this series, I picked my favorite Gen 6 starter, Fennekin. In Black, I picked my favorite Gen 5 starter, Snivy, and you saw me really spam that Coil Superior stuff in the late stages of the game, which I enjoyed quite a bit, but it's had its time now. None of the Unova starters are among my very least favorite Pokemon, but I am going to use my starter through the playthrough anyway, and I do have a clear least favorite of these 3, and it's Oshawott. Oshawott has a lot of fans now, I've noticed online, which is a really great thing to see. It's always a little bit surprising to me because I remember when Black and White were new, it seemed like the popular opinion online was that Oshawott's design had just not quite come out right. It was just kind of an odd, awkward-looking creature, and people gravitated more to the other 2 and were not so fond of this one. Snivy is my favorite starter Pokemon design, obviously. Tepig's alright. Nowadays, I talk to people online who are die-hard Oshawott fans, but back in the day, back in like 2010, there was a webcomic that people shared pretty often that was about like loving Oshawott despite most people thinking it was kind of ugly. And people found that kind of heartwarming, like, oh, a lot of us don't really like this starter, but it's good that it still has its fans. It sure does now. I don't dislike Oshawott or anything. I'm just consistent with the premise of the series, picking the starter that I like least out of these 3. I just like it less than 2 other specific Pokemon. But I do think it's kind of awkwardly designed in all of its stages. It's just not a super... I don't know. It's just a kind of awkward creature compared to the other 2. And that's why we're going to try to make some memories with it, and I'm picking Oshawott in this playthrough. Is this the Pokemon I want? It is. Let's form some bonds with Pokemon, just like everyone in this region keeps talking about all the time. And again, I've chosen a specific 6, and it starts with Oshawott. Oh wow, you and Oshawott are a perfect match. I don't know how I should feel about that, considering my reason for picking it here, but... like I said, we're going to try to bond with Oshawott, so it's all good. By the way, would you like to give a nickname to the Pokemon you chose? Now, if I had continued the Nuzlocke gimmick in this playthrough, I would have probably kept up the same nickname theme from Black. Not repeating any nicknames from before, but there are plenty of other community names to use. However, because this is a planned team of 6, I'm not going to be doing exactly the same thing, but I do have a related nickname that ties in very nicely and fits exactly this number of Pokemon perfectly. And it does start with, once again, naming the starter Toronto. We are going to have some continuity between nickname themes there. You remember Toronto the Superior? Now it's time for Toronto the Oshawott. Let's go. Is that the nickname I want? It sure is. Toronto, that is such a great name. Now you've got your Pokemon, so I'll give you this too, a Pokedex. I also told my mom I didn't want one of those, but... I guess at whatever the player character's age is, you just don't get any say, huh? Well, so it goes. You want to know what it does? The Pokedex is a high-tech device that automatically records the Pokemon you encounter. So Professor Juniper wants you to carry this Pokedex, visit a lot of places, and meet all of the Pokemon in the Unova region. Oh, no big deal, huh? Is it... why does her dialogue keep just stopping? Still, that Professor Juniper, the normal thing to do is to get an okay before sending someone clear out here, right? Like, alright, you're gonna go on a journey through the region. I was gonna say that she's like, you're gonna go on a journey through the region with this Pokedex, bye. But she didn't even say bye, her dialogue just stopped. Alright, well, I'll say it, I guess. Bye. You admire that view, it really is something special. Oh, hi Hugh, I forgot you were there. Hey! How long are you planning on keeping me waiting anyway? Listen, dude, it's a YouTube series. I have to yap sometimes. What are you gonna do about it? Hey, what's that? So that's your partner, huh? That's great. My sister already said so, but take really, really good care of your Pokemon. Got it? What's that you're holding there? It's a Pokedex. Oh, Bianca suddenly takes an interest again in what's happening around her. He's not just zoned out anymore. I guess Bianca zoning out a little bit is reasonably in character. Please give me a Pokedex too. I want to get stronger. If I have a Pokedex, I can learn more about Pokemon. That'll make me tougher, right? Huh? Who are you again? I'm Hugh. I'm going to travel the Unova region with my Pokemon partner in order to search for something very important. Bianca's thinking. Well, okay. I don't really get it, but going on a journey is always good. Anyway, I just happen to have another Pokedex on me. It looks like Pokemon distribution has really changed compared to 2 years ago, so the more the merrier. Oh yeah. It's a whole different ecosystem out there. The dialogue just stopped again. I thought there was going to be like more interaction, you know, like, alright, you've got your Pokedex, off you go. It just stopped again. Is this just like one of Bianca's character traits or something? Well, before I talk with them again, I do want to check on one thing. There's something kind of nagging at me, which is that obviously I was not allowed to choose Bianca's name in any game. Like back in Black, I couldn't rename her, or Sharon. And you could say maybe that's because they have to have consistent names for the sequels. Game Freak were definitely working on the sequels already. But it's interesting, in a series where more and more not being able to name the rival was kind of the norm, right? Like Hugh is... you can name the rival in Gen 4. Not in Gen 3. Not in the Hoenn games, anyway. And then I think Hugh is the last one that you can name, right? After that, they're all sort of more defined characters with defined names. It seems kind of like a... I don't know what to call it. Something thrown in outside of its time. Especially since the name Hugh is already penciled in for you when you name him. I wonder why they did it that way, but also... player character names usually have some kind of pretty obvious meaning in Pokemon games. Like, Black 2 here, his default name, even though the game doesn't tell you that, is Nate. And if you play as a girl, it's Rosa. Rosa, Nate, Resonate. Gen 6, Callum and Serena, Calm and Serene. And it's what, Paxton and Harmony in ZA, so Peace and Harmony. Elio and Celine and Sun and Moon, that's pretty on the nose. Victor and Gloria, you get the idea. With Hugh, I wonder what, if anything, they were cooking there. Obviously, this is black and white. Well, it's black, 2, and white, too, but, you know, the game's about not everything being divided into black and white extremes. And Hugh is a... I mean, he's a kid, and it's all understandable, and we'll see him go through an arc, but he starts off as a very sort of extreme character set in his views, and yet his name evokes color. Not black and white. Something in between. Wonder what they were cooking with that. Assuming it's intentional. Which is why I've opened Bulbapedia on my phone right now. Hugh is the only nameable rival... Excuse me. Hugh is the only nameable rival with a name already entered when the player is prompted to name him. You didn't see it, but that did happen. And yeah, it does say that that they chose the name in reference to the word hue. H-U-E. One of the properties of a color. I'll have to turn that one over in the back of my mind over the rest of this series, or some of it at least, but for now, let's find out what happens after Bianca's abruptly ending dialogue this time. Ooh, I thought of something cool. You both have a Pokemon, right? You both have Pokemon. Why don't you have a Pokemon battle? Why didn't you tell me that without making me talk to you first? Isn't that kind of the normal way? Okay, let's see how good a trainer you are. I'll use my Snivy that I raised from an egg. I wonder what would have happened if I just tried to leave instead of talking to him. I mean, I think I know. Probably would have started this interaction anyway, but here we go. I didn't remember that this was where this music is from. I've heard this music. I know where I've heard this music so often. It's one of the default ones on Showdown. This is one of the tracks to play all the time when you're battling on Pokemon Showdown. I didn't realize it was Hugh's battle music. Anyway, Hugh has my favorite starter for this generation. And I'm gonna have to beat it. I do like the starter sprite animations in this game. Like, little wiggle that Snivy does is very cute. Oshawott throwing the Skull Chop and catching it is also pretty good. Oshawott's already charming me a little bit with that move. There it goes again. Anyway, I don't think that Snivy takes another tackle, so that Leer seems too little too late. Boom. Nice level up already. We are off to the races here. Almost 2 level ups. Right away. Hugh couldn't achieve victory for his partner. He's frustrated. Something like that. I'm sure once again that post-battle dialogue will go past too quickly a lot of the time. I lost. This is different than battling with wild Pokemon. Well, whatever. I'm just happy to know you're a trainer I can count on. Cool. I'm heading off first. Get stronger. Hugh is a very memeable character at some points in this game, but of course, it comes from a sad place. As we'll see as we go. The Pokemon on both sides did their best, but this little one is still weak, so battle with it and make it stronger. Alrighty, let's go make your Pokemon better at the Pokemon Center. Oh, am I allowed to go in there now? Excellent. It's like the best place ever for Pokemon who battle and get hurt. Okay, go down from the lookout spot. The Pokemon Center is the same no matter where you are. Let's go inside. Okay, I'll show you around the Pokemon Center. The Pokemon Center heals Pokemon for free. How many times is she going to say the name Pokemon Center? You should bring your Pokemon here anytime they are weak. I'll heal your Pokemon. Hand me your Pokeball for a sec. Okay. I think that was actually more natural dialogue than the way I read it. I'll heal your Pokemon. Hand me your Pokeball for a sec. I'll heal your Whatever. She's explaining it for the first time. It's fine. Next, I'll explain the PC. This square thing is a PC. Any trainer is free to use it. You can deposit Pokemon in it. Also, you can withdraw Pokemon from it. The next thing is over here. Okay. Is it the mart? This is the Pokemart. Here you can buy and sell many different items. The Pokeballs that you use to catch Pokemon can also be bought at the Pokemart. Here, Black 2, I'll give you some Pokeballs. Alright, nice. Next up, I'll show you how to use those Pokeballs. Follow me! I will, in a little bit. How many Pokeballs do I have? 10? That'll do. Can't buy anything else except potions. Alright, here's some advice from a guy who spends all of his time in Pokemon centers. When your Pokemon's HP goes down, make sure to restore it. I guess that is the advice that I would expect from a guy who spends all of his time in Pokemon centers. Alright, thank you. Oh, you're Oshawott. Its nature is jolly. With a Pokemon like that by your side, I'm sure you'll have a fun journey. I didn't check. I wasn't gonna check. I think it's a little awkward, right? Because even though Samurott is a swordsman design, I think it actually has higher special attack. I don't think Jolly is a great nature for this. Probably gonna want Surf on it too. But hey, maybe I go more physical here. I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I have no idea what its IVs are, and I don't care to find out. Anyway. Oh, nice to meet you. You must be Bianca, right? And Black 2 picked Oshawott then? Hee hee, looking good. I don't know why Mom and Hugh's sister are wandering over together here. But I guess Hugh has gone off to train already, huh? Oh, I almost forgot. Here, take these. They're running shoes. Yes, let's go. I think this is the last game where you don't have the running shoes immediately at the very beginning. Or in other words, the last game where the running shoes are even a thing. I think in every game after this, you can just run immediately. Unless I'm forgetting something. But I think in X and Y you can. I don't know why it would be different beyond that. But here we go. This is the first one, or I think the last one. I don't know why I said first. I think this is the last one with an early game interaction where you actually get running shoes and gain the ability to run. A perfect fit. I'll read the instructions to you. Hold the B button to run faster than normal. Put on the running shoes and race around to your heart's content. Now you and Oshawott can run anywhere you want. This is from me. Alright, what you give me? Adventure rules? No, town map. That's still good. That's changed a little bit since 2 years ago. Literally, this town has been put on the map. Huh? Why are there 2 town maps? I want you to give the other one to my big brother. That's a good idea, even if it is a single road to the ocean. Having a town map is always nice. I mean, if you use a town map, you'll know all about what the Unova region is like. Aw, you guys. Just watching this makes me happy. Come on, we're headed for Route 19. I'll teach you how to catch a Pokemon. Okay, Bon voyage! Take Oshawott and go see many different Pokemon and people with your own eyes. Okay, she says the same thing again when I talk to her again. She says, get along with your Pokemon! So I guess I have to. I have no choice. It's kind of odd that you're not able to run until you change your shoes in these games. Once again, I'm like, imagine this is a real life scenario. You're simply unable to run until you're given special shoes, and then when you ask, how do I use these shoes to run? Your mom tells you, just hold the B button. Wow. That's how it goes in video games. I will go to Route 19, however, as I recall, some of the people in these houses had dialogue about me not having a Pokemon yet, so I'm gonna go see what's changed. Take good care of your Pokemon. I'm sure that little one will show you a whole new world. Hey there, Black 2. Well, look at that. You've got a Pokemon with you. That's great. Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be anything too groundbreaking here. Hey, is that your Pokemon? Whoa, cool! I do like this sort of cozy, small town that's growing now vibe that this area has, for sure. To be honest, I don't want my son to go on a journey. I mean, his goal is... There's no parent who doesn't wish for his or her child to grow. Okay, this is definitely Hugh's family then. He's talking about Hugh. And he's worried about Hugh, but he's like... I mean, Hugh still has to learn and grow, right? And he will. Don't worry. Hugh loses his way on the path or in life, really, please help him, won't you? He's the kind of person who, well, who lets rage build inside him. Poor Hugh. But don't worry, I've got his back. Obviously his sister isn't up here anymore. What am I talking about? So is this Hugh's bedroom? It must be, because this is his sister. His sister was over here. So Hugh is the one who has this awesome map of Unova. Good for him. I'll keep an eye out for him, don't worry. Can I go in here now? Hugh's not here to stop me. But this guy is. Even though Hugh too wishes the trainer school would hurry up and open. Because there's so much about Pokemon that he wants to know. What can you do? Yeah, I like the booming small town vibe. Everybody knows me. There's a sense of community. We know that we're kind of in an isolated part of the region. Not a ton going on. And yet, we're getting a trainer school and a gym leader. Truly reaching for the sky. Another showcase of how everything changes, huh? 2 years ago, this town was not even on the map. And here we go now. Wonder if everyone will change now that we have a Pokemon gym. I mean, if your friends get good at battling, you'll want to get better also, right? There we go. This person's remarking on it. Also, that's an interesting point. Maybe that's why some of the early game areas become stronger in later game. I mean, obviously the gameplay reason is if you went to post-game Kanto in Gen 1 or post-game Eastern Unova in this game, it would be, and the Pokemon were super weak, that would be dull gameplay. But hey, we are kind of hinting at a canon explanation here that having strong Pokemon trainers come from an area or gather to an area to challenge a gym or something motivates more strong trainers to appear and improves the strength of trainers in the area. Makes sense, doesn't it? When battled with my Pokemon was still weak. Yap, yap, yap. Nice cheerful Lillipup. That hasn't changed its dialogue, though. Worst when you find the Pokemon you were looking for and you don't have any Pokeballs. Yeah. This is so long ago. I was playing Pokemon Silver. I was playing my Pokemon Silver cartridge that was my very first Pokemon game. And some people play Pokemon for years and years without ever encountering shinies. Not so much now because they're easier to find in the modern games, but I was lucky. Back in Silver, I had 3 random encounter shinies. Obviously, I'm not talking about Gyarados. That one's free, but I had a random encounter shiny Zubat, and I caught it, but I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know about shiny. The red Gyarados did not effectively teach me about shiny Pokemon. It was just like, whoa, there's an unusual Gyarados. What a weird thing in this game. I didn't realize that every Pokemon had rare alternative coloration just off of that, and so I encountered a random shiny Zubat, and I was just like, whoa, there's also a weird secret Zubat in this game. And the player, you know, it's so secret, even the kids on the playground don't know about it. And so I told people that there was a secret green Zubat in, I think, Rock Tunnel. And if they look around there, they could find it. I don't think any of the other kids I knew ever did find it, because it was a, you know, random 1 in 8,000 something chance. But that was my first random shiny. And then I got, I think very soon after that, actually, I got a random shiny Drowsy on the route with the daycare south of Goldenrod City. But the reason I brought this up, my 3rd random shiny and my last one in my original game, Pokemon Silver, was a Donphan. I think it was in Victory Road. And I couldn't catch it. Not because I didn't have Pokeballs, I did have Pokeballs. But in Gen 1 and Gen 2, if your active PC box was full, the Pokemon would not just overflow into the next box. You had to go into the PC and manually change to a different active box. And if you didn't do that, and your box was full, then you just couldn't catch any more Pokemon until you changed the box. And that was why I couldn't catch my random shiny Donphan. I encountered a shiny Donphan, and my box was full. Not the whole PC, but just the active box. But that was enough. In Silver version, that you couldn't catch Pokemon. So that's not exactly the situation this guy is talking about, but it's functionally the same thing, and it was pretty rough for sure. My third ever random shiny. My last one in my very first game. And I couldn't catch it because my box was full. Anyway, this is the NPC I most wanted to talk to, the fortune teller who predicted that I would meet a Pokemon. Going to the next town was a big adventure when I was a kid. Oh yeah, here, I'll give you something I always used to take with me back then. No, where is it? I'll look for it, sorry. Okay, weird that she's not flexing her prediction skills, but I do wonder whether she'll have some other dialogue if I come back later, like maybe after I beat the gym. Or maybe just after I go to the ranch and whatnot. Let's go learn how to catch a Pokemon, shall we? I have Pokeballs and my box isn't full. First, we see our first one of these in the playthrough. Hey, Black 2, you can't go without... Oh? You're with Oshawott. Okay, this is a going away gift. Don't be shy, take it. Give me a potion. By the way, I've been praising both the small town vibe and the growing city vibe that this place has at the same time. Very realistic to some places that I'm familiar with in real life. The gate attendant knowing me by name and being happy to see me with a Pokemon and giving me a going away gift is a nice touch. When Pokemon get hurt, take it easy and go to a Pokemon Center. Black 2, how was your journey? I'll have to come back and tell her all about it later. I see. I love to read news and information about the city displayed on the electric bulletin board on the wall. I just talking up how cool the lookout is, which it is, but I don't need to be reading that right now. Let's go. Route 19. Hey, this way. Do you think she'll abruptly stop talking and then I'll have to actually talk to her to get the catching demonstration? That's kind of been her pattern so far. Let's see. This kind of reminds me of that day on Route 1. Okay, here's how it works. The Pokédex's pages fill up automatically when you meet Pokemon. And when you catch a Pokemon, more detailed information on it is added to the Pokédex. Here, I'll show you how to catch a Pokemon. Starting now. Oh no, she's actually just going to do it without further prompting. How about that? And yeah, this must be super nostalgic for her. She and her friends took their first steps together. They did a contest to see who could catch the most Pokemon on the way to Accumula Town. A little bit of a different story for Black 2 and Hugh, but still the beginning of an adventure. One was caught. Oh, do I have to press A? Fair enough. What a relief! I caught a Pokemon. Oh, right, I'll go over the important stuff. Aw, still questioning her skills. First, go find a healthy Pokemon to catch. You need to remember this next bit. It's best to lower the Pokemon's HP before you try to catch it. Use your Pokemon's moves to lower the HP of the Pokemon you want to catch. Making it fall asleep or paralyzing it will make it even easier to catch. That's something I didn't know for a long time as a kid. I wonder when they started explicitly pointing it out in the games. It might even have been from the very beginning for all I know, and maybe I just missed it. But there we go, explicit call out of that in this game. You're going to go deliver the town map to your friend, right? Continue straight this way to get to Flockacy. I don't know how to say this one. In my head it's always Flockacy Town, but I don't know if that's correct. I'm losing confidence by the second in that pronunciation. Anyway, bye now. Meet lots of Pokemon and catch a lot of them, okay? Wow, she actually concluded the thing that she was saying to me. Bianca is learning and growing still as we speak. Look at those flowers. This is, I think, another area that looks very different in different seasons, so we might have to come check that out. Depending on how long this playthrough stretches it on and whatnot. You a trainer? Know what? I'm searching for Pokemon in the tall grass. That's right, if you don't want to meet Pokemon, avoid the tall grass. Well, I have to get to the next town, so... I think I'll battle this Patrat because Got a gym leader to worry about soon, and Toronto here is just so close to leveling up. Quick, easy battle. Level 7. Water gun. Too bad about that jolly nature, but it'll still be useful. Hey, you know about ledge jumping? Yes. Oh. I guess you would know that you can jump off these little ledges. Poor guy. The one time I say yes to something. I mean, sorry, no, I don't know. That's so. Well then, watch me carefully. From the top of the ledge. Boing! Wow, that was so cool. It's really cool how you can take these shortcuts by jumping off these, right? Yeah, that was awesome. Thanks for teaching me. Another potion. Water back there. You there, trainer. My name is Alder. I'm a trainer with a keen interest in the world. One of my goals is to tell people about how wonderful it is to walk toward the future together with Pokemon. Alder keeping up his habit of jumping from high places. You'll love to see it. Also being introduced crazy early in this game. How about that? Of course, he's not the champion anymore. So he can go wander the region to his heart's content, which is something he already clearly liked to do. And you are? ... Humph. So you're Black 2 from Aspertia City. He's examining me all over? Okay. Your Oshawott is a fine-looking Pokemon, but you're not exactly a seasoned trainer yet. Indeed, I'll train you a little. Follow me. You got training from the former champion? Heck yeah. Let's go. To this town with a name. Might as well heal off those 3 HP and 2 PP that Oshawott used up. Your Oshawott is male. I wonder what the difference is between male and female Pokemon. Who could say? I read the help on the PC. I feel I became smarter. Here is a little advice. Keep lots of potions. Here is some more advice. Keep lots of Pokeballs too. Oh, that's right. Black 2, are your Pokemon well? Your Pokemon are always doing their best for you, the trainer, so you must always be kind to them. My house is just a little farther. Stop by the Pokemon Center first if you'd like. Oh, whoops. Already did. Don't worry about it. Prophecy flocks here. So it probably is Flockasy Town then. Walk-in Prophecy. Although, Unova cities and towns are usually named after clouds. At least kind of abstractly. I know a flock of clouds is a thing, but I don't know that flock is a type of cloud, or that prophecy is. But maybe they are just going for a flock of clouds. I don't know what they're cooking with this town name. I don't know. I've never thought of it as much more than just a quiet, sleepy, early game, pass through it town. Where Alder happens to live, but I don't know, maybe they're cooking something. I always save a record of my adventures so I don't forget what I've done so far. It's a good idea for any trainer. Sure is. Wouldn't want to wake up one day and just have forgotten everything that I did in the last session, in my last round of doing things. Therefore, effectively having not done them. That would be rough. As they wandered in search of Pokemon, people began making homes in more places. This ranch used to be a grassy meadow. It's now become a place where people and Pokemon have homes together. I don't really know much about Pokemon types and stuff like that. I just focus on raising one Pokemon charge ahead, but it's kind of the hard way to do things. When I run to a Pokemon that mine is not good against, I can't win anymore. So I've talked about how this is a sort of a small, remote area that is clearly growing. This guy's not talking about 2 years ago, right? Like, I imagine the town and the ranch existed 2 years ago. We just didn't go to them. They were really out of our way. Not of much interest to our journey. Really, they just didn't exist yet. But in-universe explanation. They just weren't part of the path that we were on. But obviously this guy doesn't give any kind of timeline here. He does sort of raise the idea that I hadn't considered, that these are relatively new settlements in the Unova region. They might well be. And so they're just sort of finding their footing now and getting a gym leader out here and whatnot. new development. And as ever, the region changes, and its people and their relationships evolve. And the Pokemon, too, of course. The Pokemon to be found in the region are very different now, as we'll see. That did change rapidly in a difficult way to believe in just 2 years. On a sunny day, my Patrat's fur gets all fluffy. I can't help wanting to pet it. Squaw. The biggest city in Unova is Castelia. I want to take the ship from Verbank and go play there. Me too. So I will. Even if you have a lot of them, items never weigh you down, eh? There's another potion. Yep. You know, I always think about how from black on, the black and white on, the games have infinite bag capacity. It didn't really cross my mind that they would also get, the bags would also get crazy heavy. But we don't have to worry about that. Bags sure are cool. Items in your bag are automatically sorted by type. No wonder my mom asked whether I knew how to open this. It's some cutting edge tech, I guess. Also makes the items weightless inside. I can accept that. It's Pokemon. People always think the past or the future would be so wonderful, but the great time we're spending with Pokemon is right now. Good point. Are you happy you're able to train Pokemon? I don't have it in me to say no to this one. Yes. Right? Me too! An old clock tower. Okay, maybe this is not such a new settlement. If they have an old clock tower here. Unless they moved it from somewhere else, but like, why? But I think it's fair to say that it's grown, expanded, become more noteworthy. There's a place for trainers to visit and whatnot. And the ranch might be relatively new. Who's to say? The guy didn't give any timeline. Maybe he means they put the ranch there a long time ago. But you know, there's kind of a certain implication. In the morning, my Pokemon come to wake me up when they're hungry. At night, my Pokemon get tired from playing and take up the whole bed. Oh, it fills me with so much joy. Aw, that guy's just describing pets. Which makes sense, right? Because it's long been part of the canon that for some people, Pokemon are functionally just pets. That guy seems like he has a great little life with Pokemon. Loving the aesthetic of this town once again. The forest, this field here. Want to know what Alder taught me? Yep. He said the Pokemon you throw out at the start of battle is the one in the upper left slot in your party. That's why I put a Pokemon I want to make stronger, or a Pokemon that's already tough in that spot. One you want to train, or one that's already... Yep, makes sense. Alder doesn't know about Team Preview, I guess, even though that originated in this generation. There's a better look at that clock tower. Maybe I can get even better from up there. Hey, this way. Shall we start training? Huh? By the way, why are you holding 2 town maps? He didn't say it that quickly. By the way, why are you holding... ... Oh ho! It's your friend's town map, is it? Your friend is the one with the Snivy, isn't he? It just so happens he was training his Pokemon on Route 20. Well, if that's the case, you should go give him the town map first. Just follow this road, it goes to Route 20. Alright, sure, I'll do that, but I want to look at the clock tower first. Nope, illegal. Just follow this road, it goes to Route 20. You see, in Floxy Ranch, wild Pokemon might surprise you. At times like that, only your own Pokemon can help you out. We got a little garage here. Maybe a bit too little. That vehicle looks like it just barely fits through the door. What's that path back there? Let's go see. Oh, right, illegal. Got the tire tread marks here. Got another garage from the looks of it. Route 20. This area is definitely different at different seasons. Like, I think you can pass through here in, I assume, winter, because I assume it fills up with snow. I don't really remember, but that makes sense to me. Pokemon battles begin when eyes meet. That's a rule for trainers. It sure is. Yes, you can't get that item except in, I think, probably winter. Actually, no, I think it's fall. I think they fill up with leaves. I think in fall, autumn, if you prefer, I could go get that item. Well, we might have to come back. Anyway. Trainer battle time. You can tell how much your opponent wants to fight by looking into his or her eyes, don't you think? And don't worry, I remember what to say. Not in Japanese, I've completely forgotten that. But when I'm showing a Pokemon to someone, I'm supposed to say, check out this Pokemon. Right? Let's go. I forgot to know Water Gun. A quick tackle out of habit. Well, it can compare damage. This has stab. And I think it did marginally more damage, but I also think tackle KOs here. Wow, I could really tell that you wanted to win. Sure did. I'm gonna keep battling to make my Pokemon stronger. Oh, another trainer right there. This is an exit from some kind of path here. Yeah, this is an area that definitely has to be explored with some HMs and probably in different seasons. Which is cool. Nice they work some fun little secrets into the route. I just have to remember to come here and do the exploring. Hey you, have you seen my cute Pokemon? Take a look. Alright, I'll take a look. Trainers have little animations when they start a battle now. Here's a Purloin. That is a cute Pokemon. I have drafted... Actually, here's a timestamp for any PDLers watching. I drafted Purloin to my PDL Season 9 team just today. It is my most recent draft pick at time of recording, and it was like 2 hours ago, maybe. And now Toronto grew to level 8. My Purloin is cute even if it loses. Absolutely true. And even though this is just the second route in the game, episode 1 of the playthrough, and it is just a planned team of 6, it is time to add the second member of that team. Encountered one immediately. Hopefully I can... I'm actually going to try just throwing a ball. It's a level 2 Pidove. I'm a little worried that it'll just drop to a tackle. And it might just be catchable like this anyway. Pidove is the second member of the team. I don't especially hate on Pheasant or anything, but it doesn't really... There's not really anything about it that catches my interest after 4 previous generations of an early game normal and flying bird that usually has something a bit more interesting going on with it. Male on Pheasant at least has that interesting head design, but this is a female Pidove, so even better. This very forgetful Pokemon will wait for a new order from its trainer, even though it already has one. That's funny. That's charming. I'm being charmed already. Although Pidove I don't have an issue with. I actually think Pidove is very cute. It's its evolved forms that have just never captured my interest, because normal and flying early game birds are kind of a dime a dozen in this series. Nonetheless, second member of the team right here. Nickname is... East York. I'm not even going to put it in front of the party yet. Although I'm going to need to actually think I might be battling Hugh soon, so I'm probably going to want a flying type for that. What moves does East York have? Just Gust. Honestly, switching in on the Swaddle and clicking Gust might be worth it. That was a crit, okay. Is this one shot? Double weakness. Yeah. I'm just worried about East York being able to run from wild Pokemon, so maybe I'll get to here and then swap her to the front and then battle this youngster. Go. Feel this boiling spirit. My Patrat is gonna amaze you. Alright. This is my favorite NPC so far. Feel this boiling spirit. Alright, youngster PD. Let's see what... You got a top percentage Patrat there? Let's see it. Level 4. Pretty good for out here. Definitely gonna scare East York off the field. Water gun made an interesting little sound. And it two-shots this top percentage Patrat. think I've doused his boiling spirit. Oh well. East York gets a bunch more experience because in this generation, I think from this generation on, experience is tied to the difference in level to some extent. This indomitable spirit, I won't be brought down by losing. Moving forward is all that matters. Okay, good, I didn't demoralize him. That's a relief. Oh, a Pokeball. I figured there'd be something going on with this weird cluster of rocks. Come on, a kid without a single gym badge continuing on past here? Battle with the trainers and Pokemon in this area, then battle some more. Dude, the gym hasn't opened yet. What do you want me to do? I don't know, but apparently it's illegal for me to come through here. God forbid. I'm allowed to leave my own town now, but, like, not much further. Because I don't have a badge and there isn't an open gym in this area yet. Always trying to keep the people of far western Unova down, huh? Meet lots of Pokemon. Floxy Ranch just off Floxy Town. This is a very nice area, obviously. The ranch is a lot of fun. We won't be taking full advantage in this playthrough because of the planned team of Pokemon I don't especially like thing, but with Black and White 2 opening up the regional Pokedex so that Pokemon from past generations are back in, which itself was a pretty exciting development when they revealed it, before the game's released. This is a wonderful spot because it is where you get some old favorites like Mareep and Riolu. Really playing some of the hits early on as far as letting us have old Pokemon again goes. Look at these Mareep running around right here. They're so silly and cute. But yeah, this was, I'm sure, a very popular stop for a lot of people playing through this game the first time. Including me. I think I caught those Pokemon in my first playthrough. Although I don't remember what my team ended up looking like. I don't think I meant to go this way immediately. Oh well. But won't be catching them this playthrough. Because of course I have a different theme in mind for my team. Oh, nice. You've come here to toughen up. Alright, let's see how much stronger you've become. Come at me! Uh-oh. This is so weird. I didn't know where in the series this music came from. And so I associate it with Pokemon Showdown. Here we go again. I'm playing Showdown right now. At level 8 Snivy, oh, I don't think East York is up to this, but she's going to do her best, because I'm not switching Oshawott in like that. That did some damage. Okay, Leer, that gives me another Gust, which, you know, might create enough of an opening for Tackle to break through, and no wonder my Oshawott is faster than his Snivy now that I know about speed boosting nature. He's going for Leer again. Is his AI basically programmed to throw this? You know what? I'm actually down at this point. It's a little bit risky, but I think a Tackle will KO. I'm actually down to switch to Toronto now and try to preserve the experience on East York. It would be a very good experience for her. He goes for Leer again. He might be programmed to not win this battle. I don't know. It would be a tough one otherwise. His starter is at the same level as mine. He has the type advantage. You know, I haven't gone crazy training my starter, but I also haven't done much to avoid opportunities. Oh yeah, we win. We get level ups on both Pokemon. East York learns Growl. East York levels up 3 times, actually. Pretty good stuff. How could I have lost? I have to apologize to my partner. Poor guy. Not bad. You're thinking about how to bring out your Pokemon's strength. I should be able to count on you for backup. Oh, what are you planning, Hugh? What are you doing out here anyway? Huh? A town map? Give him the town map. She didn't have to do that. Thanks to you, too. But it just left and you're... Oh. That's... She didn't have to do that. Thanks to you, too. I get what they're going for, but that feels like really unnatural dialogue. I don't know. We just left, and you've already helped me out. I guess the implication is that he's thanking his mother and also thanking me, but he didn't thank his mother. He was just like, she didn't have to do that. I don't know. That flowed weirdly, I think. I thought it was lively around here. You were having a Pokemon battle, huh? Isn't it nice to be young? Who are you? Who am I? I'm the owner of this ranch, and this is my wife. Her name is just Wife. wife says, after a Pokemon battle, you should heal your Pokemon's HP, right? Here, I'll give you this. And she gives me a potion. Everybody's giving out potions. Everybody's such a helpful neighbor out here. You love to see it. And one for you. It's nice to have potions when you're far away from a Pokemon Center. By the way, you didn't happen to see a Herdier around here, did you? I can't figure out where it went. Our two Herdier are always together, and this is the first time one has wandered off, so I'm a little worried. And Hugh springs into action. You're a little worried. Are you kidding me? Your Pokemon might be lost forever. Whatever, I'll look. Black 2, help out. Huh? Why did he get so mad? I think it's probably just playing somewhere on the ranch. I wonder. By the way, dear, if your Pokemon get hurt, let me know. I'll make them feel better for you. Yep, I'll take her up on that. Immediately. It is strange for Herdier to wander off on its own. It always plays with the other one or works on the ranch. Yeah. I'm gonna move Toronto to the front of the party as training for the gym. That was a strong reaction from Hugh, but obviously he's a kid and it comes from trauma and he's gonna be vindicated, so no judgment here, but that was a little much, huh? Typical Pokemon rival isn't doing all that. Bianca had a Pokemon stolen by Team Plasma and also helped out helped out some other kid whose Pokemon was stolen, and she was able to keep it together more than that, but obviously Hugh has had the bad outcome already 2 years ago. And there might be a little bit more to his story that we'll address when we get there, but yeah, I'm sure that was jarring for some people playing through this the first time and getting that information about Hugh, but especially since we don't, if we're doing a blind playthrough, we don't know yet what happened to him. But it comes from trauma. He's doing his best. Herdier, where did you go? And he's, importantly, jumping into action to help out, right? He's not just yelling at them. He is yelling at them, but he's not just yelling at them. Or something. Oh, and I forgot there are trainers in the ranch. Non-criminal trainers, anyway. But, like I said, I do want to train Toronto for the gym. I think that's my best bet, to just pour experience into my starter. I recall that this gym is, like, not super difficult or anything, but you certainly can lose to it. So I'll give East York some more training later, or if I see a grass type. But anyway, let's see who has the most admirable Pokemon. This music is definitely used on Showdown as well, but Hugh's music is the one that I really associate with Showdown specifically, I think, again, because I didn't remember where it was actually from. Assist, alright, let's see what it gets. String shot. Oh, it's not that scary. Probably means she has a Swaddle on the back, though. So we'll get East York some experience after all against this trainer. Yep. Trainers are keeping it pretty tame so far with those early game Unova Pokemon we know so well, but we can see Marie playing on the ranch already. So we know there's more to see around here than just your Patrat, Purloin, Swaddle. Maybe this is where all those Team Plasma grunts got their Pokemon from before. But, yeah, we know there are other encounters here. There's Psyduck and stuff. And if you're really lucky or dedicated, the game doesn't shove this in our face, at least not so far, but we know that we can find a Riolu because we have prior knowledge of this game anyway. If I can't win with these numbers, maybe I should find my Pokemon some more friends. Maybe you should do that anyway. That sounds wonderful. Doesn't look like there's anything down there. Here are those two Mareep that were playing earlier. And I accidentally disrupted them. I'll just get right back to it. And then that's just an exit. Oh, there's an item over there. I missed that for a sec. What's this encounter going to be? Alright, if I were Nuzlocking this, my Flockacy Ranch encounter would be Psyduck. A little bit redundant when I already have an Oshawott, but still kind of cool. I'm pretty sure I trained Psyduck for a while in my first playthrough of this game. Like, I think I was using Golduck against Clay. I don't know if it made the final team. But I must have caught a bunch of Pokemon at the ranch in my first playthrough, and I'm sure a lot of other people did as well. However, Of course, I've decided to take a different approach this time. There might be something to be said for playing this like I did the first playthrough. Maybe something to consider for future instances of the Revisited series. Although I do like the Nuzlocke gimmick specifically for taking some of the choice out of my hands and tying into the goal of just kind of experiencing the region. But I don't know. I'm doing what I'm doing for this playthrough, and who knows what's next. Well, I think I do. I think I've already chosen the next region for this type of series. But we'll get there when we get there. Did Herdier wander somewhere back here? Let's have a look. Okay. Wow, this ranch is really big. It sure is. Now we're in a dark forested area. Off the beaten path, although there is a trainer down here. I could avoid him and go through the tall grass, but why would I want to? Oh, I haven't seen you before. Would you mind sparring with me? We got a guy out in the woods at the edge of the ranch. We got a janitor out in the woods at the edge of the ranch just sparring with random passersby. I don't know what the deal is with that, but like I said, I could use some practice for the gym, so go water gun. Of course, I still need to take Alder up on that training he offered. But to do that, I need to get the town map to Hugh. But to do that, I need to get Hugh settled down by resolving the issue at hand. Anyway. Goodbye, Lillipup. Hello, Mareep. That kind of counters my whole team. Also, here we go, working in some non-Gen 5 Pokemon. Mareep was a really awesome choice for sort of an early game. Show that the region is different now, kind of Mon. Because it's very memorable and popular one from past generations, and it also fits the sleepy rural aesthetic of the area. Riolu was the rare encounter, is also awesome for obvious reasons, but yeah, they really killed it. Splashing some Mareep around in this ranch. However, it does kind of counter my team, and I think its highest stat might be special defense. It has relatively high special defense, so I would normally consider tackling it instead of water gunning, but I don't want to get static paralyzed, so water gun it is. The way the camera moved around while I was talking instead of doing was kind of interesting there. Anyway, got paralyzed anyway. I guess I can switch to tackle now. But one more attack should KO. Just have to actually land an attack. There it goes. Oh, paralyzed heal. I do. I have one Parla's heal. Perfect. I don't want to go back to the... I don't want to go back to wife right now. It's a bit of a trek. Look carefully around the ranch and on the roads, you might find items on the ground. Oh, and here's Hugh again. Oh, here! I'll share something good with you. It's another Parla's heal. Perfect. Broke even on those. I guess he looked around carefully and found an item on the ground. If your Pokemon is paralyzed, use one of these on it. ... Still, Pokemon don't just wander off on their own. In a worst case scenario, it might be involved in some trouble. And Pokemon do just wander off on their own, right? Like, there was even some dialogue in Black 1 about how, like, if Pokemon didn't want to stay with us, they would just leave. But I think we can reasonably assume that this Herdier probably didn't want to just leave. Anyway, like I said, Hugh's going to be proven right on this one. Independent of whatever general thoughts you have on the matter. You sure are lucky to have run into someone as strong as me. Sure, bro. Do you have a boiling spirit, though? Doesn't sound like it. That is a stronger Patrat than the other one, though, so you might still be cooking. Let's see. Psyduck. Nice. Hopefully drops to a couple of tackles and then get to level 11. Yeah, looks like it does work out that way. Crit! Rude. There we go. Water Sport. Probably will not use that a single time, but okay, it certainly is a move. This guy says he was lucky to run into me. I guess he's found out about my boiling spirit. Turning bad luck into good luck. I wish I knew how to do that. So there's a ledge down there. This way leads to an item. That ledge, I think, just goes back to the main ranch area, probably. And I would just have to double back. So, don't want to do that. Let's press on this way. This looks like the right direction. Especially since I just heard a yarp. That sounds like a herdier. If ever I've heard one. Did you hear that just now? I'll check this area. You go deeper in the grove and look. Maybe that guy from Hot Fuzz is in the ranch. Maybe it's not a herdier. Yarp. Although that, another potion. That looks like a herdier down there, and who's that with him? I don't know, I've never seen anybody looking like that before. Did I say him about the herdier? I don't know its gender. Well, whatever. Yarp! That herdier just got shoved by this mysterious pirate. That cry, you found it. What a relief. Okay, I'll go call his trainer, so you stay here with it. He doesn't even find out yet that he's right about what's happening. Ch! You little pest. I'm a member of a group that strikes fear into the hearts of those who stand before it. Team Plasma. What? Team Plasma? I thought they dressed like knights. And also I thought their whole shtick, their whole operation turned out to be a sham based on false premises. What do you mean, Team Plasma? That's 2 years ago. What are you doing here, and why do you look like that? Ever heard of it? No! This is the best I've ever felt saying no to one of these NPC questions in this episode. Really? We're the righteous group. We're the righteous group that... We're the righteous group that tried to conquer Unova 2 years back in order to liberate Pokemon. Whatever. Fools will never understand us. Still. First I got lost chasing Herdier, and now some nosy kid caught me. Oh, this is your fault. Take this! He threw a TM at me. The symbolic TM toss. Maybe he was gifted that, and he used Bestow to give it to me just now. Okay, I'll use this opportunity to retreat for now. Maybe he just threw the TM to distract me? That never works. Anyway, nothing says liberating a Pokemon like having to chase it deep into the forest because it doesn't want anything to do with you and what you're about, right? What a righteous group that is. Yap, woof. Here's the rancher. Must have run into the grunt on the way here, right? Unless the grunt took a ledge shortcut. Herdier! What made you come all the way back here? Well, at any rate, I'm really grateful for your help, you two. You're awfully calm about this. Your Pokemon might have been gone for good. Take better care of it. I don't think Hugh even knows yet that I encountered Team Plasma here. I don't think I told him. Although, the way they handle the silent protagonist in this game, who knows for sure. I said he was going to be vindicated, but only to me. I'm not sure he knows. I wonder if something happened to him. It's like he's afraid of losing Pokemon. Come on, Herdier. Everyone's waiting. Let's get home. Yeah, kind of lines up with his sister's dialogue too, doesn't it? Oh, the rancher knows that. Is this game lagging a bit? I think it's alright. We're taking some ledge shortcuts ourselves to get back here. The two Herdier are together. Ba-woof. 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 I don't know why I'm saying woof. They're dogs. Woof. Thanks. It's all thanks to you and your Pokemon. You're really great. Hey, is that it? Did Alder train you? Not yet. I want him to. You and your Pokemon found Herdier. Great. You're welcome, wife. Oh, she yelled my Pokemon. I just had to get through that one bit of one-time dialogue. I don't know if there's anything to explore on this river. It doesn't look like it over here, but, you know, I'll have to come back with HMs for this general area. Anyway, still illegal for me to go through here. I just saved our Pokemon from Team Plasma, but I'm still not cool enough, I guess. So, back to Floxy Town. If it were fall, I could just... I think fall is correct. I could just go get that item, huh? Which probably means it's not anything that good, so when I come back and get it later, I'll be underwhelmed. Oh well. You see, in Floxy Ranch, wild Pokemon might surprise you. At times like that, only your own Pokemon... I talked to that guy already, obviously, because I've been through the town before. Oh, it looks like you've delivered the town map to your friend. Herm. You were only gone a moment, but you and your Pokemon have grown. Why, I could almost mistake you for someone else. I know, my Pidove... Well, for one thing, I have a Pidove now, but also it's more than doubled its level. I've been training hard. Well then, instead of training you... What? Instead of training you, I would like you and your Pokemon to give me a hand. What? I did all that to get training from Alder, and I don't get training from Alder. I do finally get to look at the clock tower, though. He just said, give me a hand, and went into his house. I guess I'm supposed to follow. Can't actually see the clock tower very well from here. A little bit of the roof. There's an item over here. An X speed. Don't think I'm ever using that. Just never got the hang of using X items. We get to see this path now. No location popped up. I know where I am, but why didn't the location pop up? Oh. There's a story behind this rock, huh? Bet this rock has a story behind it in a figurative sense. 3 sharp marks are deeply cut into the rock. What could have done that? Huh. This is Pledge Grove. Does it not show up on the map? Even the town map doesn't say that I'm in Pledge Grove. I'm in Floxy Town, but this is it. A place the Swords of Justice once hung out in the distant past. And I believe this is where you bring Keldeo if you have one in this game, which I never did. To get it to learn Secret Sword. And, unlike in Black and White, this is the first game where learning Secret Sword transforms Keldeo into its Resolute form. That other Keldeo form debuted in this game. In regular Black and White, you can have a Keldeo that knows Secret Sword, but it's still just in the ordinary form, which I believe makes those the only games where that's the case. But yeah, Resolute Keldeo achieved that transformation with its friends in this very grove and can do it again if you have a Keldeo, but I'm not about to be getting one. Floxy Town, so I'm in a different location here, right? I know I'm in Pledge Grove. What happens if I try to save the game here? Oh, it does say Pledge Grove. Alright, so the game... It does say Pledge Grove if I save there, but it doesn't pop up or show on the map. Anyway. This dirt battlefield out front is so perfect for Alder's house. You know, he's teaching the local kids a lot, and here are some of those local kids now. Oh, are we going to help train that person, sir? Really? But that trainer looks really tough. That's right, this trainer may be tough, but you can learn from losing as well. More importantly, haven't I been telling you to just enjoy Pokemon battles? So, Black 2, please be their opponent. I'll show you what's cool about my Pokemon. Let me guess, one of them has a Purloin and one of them has a Patrat. Let's see. I don't remember. Seymour has... Oh. I guess they have the 2 monkeys I didn't pick. Or the monkeys for the types I didn't pick. I think Seymour is going to have Pansear. I get the type advantage, and then I think the girl is going to have Pansage, and I'd probably switch out to East York for that. Told you I didn't remember. But hey, the monkey spam is coming back. Driving home that rock, paper, scissors triangle, although not as on the nose about it as Black 1 was. Perhaps I think a lot of players have learned by now. Anyway, that was a quick one. This guy needs to get older to teach him some more things. That was a fine battle, both of you. Well, next we have... Ready? First we have to heal your Pokemon, Black 2. I don't think we do after that, but fair enough. I'm not complaining. Some Pokemon battles are decided by type matchups. Alright, what you got? I think I know what you got, but let's see it. Cassie. Yeah, Pansage. And I'm sure if I picked Snivy, she would have Pansear, and the other one would have Panpour. And if I picked Tepig, she would have Panpour, and the other one would have Pansage. Anyway. Some Pokemon battles are decided by type matchups. I don't know if you've heard that before. So let's switch from a disadvantageous matchup to an advantageous one. I even just switched in a Ghost immunity so that Lick connected with nothing. I don't have to worry about being paralyzed by it. This Gust should do a lot. Not that much, but should be enough damage over time. The Scratch admittedly looks a bit more... It kind of looks more powerful, although the Pokemon is kind of being blown around by the Gust. Well, that one was a crit, so that was definitely powerful. And by Pansage. Some Pokemon battles are decided by type, what can I say? Level 8. Learned Leer. Level 12. Nothing. That's fine. Water Sport wasn't long ago. That said, it's also not very useful, so maybe Water Sport shouldn't really count. That was truly a rousing battle. I could tell that all of the Pokemon were enjoying themselves as well. How about it, Black 2? Pokemon types are very important in battle, aren't they? Water is strong against fire, fire is strong against grass, grass is strong against water. Type matchups don't decide everything, though. But listen, when a Pokemon uses a move that matches its type, the move becomes more powerful. Explaining Stab, nice. Well, explaining it enough. A casual player. Let's heal those hardworking Pokemon. Oshawott, you did a good job for Black 2. You know, it really did. It really did. I'm bonding with this Oshawott already, and this Pidove. Meeting Pokemon and people you never would have met otherwise is truly one of the great things about traveling. I'll say the same thing again if I talk to him again. I do think it's kind of a coincidence that the timing worked out like this, but I do think it's a good thing that I am playing Pokemon I don't especially like as my theme team for this playthrough. It is convenient that there's such a high concentration of them available in this game, but also, given that these games are about people and Pokemon coming together and bonding, it's kind of nice that that is sort of intentionally a thing that I'm actually trying to do here. It's gonna be fun. I think I can get even stronger if I learn more about Pokemon. That's why I want to go to many different places, so I can learn a lot. My dream is to strengthen my Pokemon here and become the strongest trainer in Unova. Good dream, Seymour. See you at the Pokemon League. Oh, hey, it's this guy. I know this is sudden, but nice to meet you. Now don't say anything, just take this. Alright, that's normal, yeah. Got a metal box. This is a metal box, and people call me Mr. Metal. By the way, do you know a competition called the Metal Rally? Absolutely not. Whether you know it or not, I'll explain it to you. I guess his response would not change at all if I said yes, huh? The Metal Rally is an event that evaluates various activities of trainers. So, in commemoration of your participation, please take this medal. Okay. First step medal. And here's some help for the Metal Rally. I'll give you hint medals too. 6 hint medals. For your information, you can get medals if you meet their conditions. Go to a Pokemon Center and you can get medals from me one after another. First, please use your medal box and check the inside. I never really took much interest in this, but on my first playthrough I did talk to him whenever I saw him in a Pokemon Center and just got whatever medals he happened to give me. I'll probably do about the same here. Black 2. As for the newly opened Pokemon Gym in Aspertia City, I heard a new gym leader has arrived there. You should go and test how strong you've become. Okay, thanks, Alder. He just came outside to tell me that and went back. I guess he just got the call that the gym opened or something, because we know it wasn't open last time I was in town. But that's very convenient, considering that I can't go anywhere else without a badge, huh? Let's take a quick look at this metal box. A manual is wedged inside the metal box. Metal box features. Press the A button, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. First step medal. Just for joining the Metal Rally. Not really something I asked to do, but a guy calling himself Mr. Metal was just like, don't ask questions, take this box. And here we are. Wow, leaking the date that I'm recording again, huh? There's no path in front of you, there will be a path in front of you. Save your game frequently. That I can do. When your Pokemon gets weak, go to a Pokemon Center, often restore their health, have courage and fight in battles. Fight in link battles, and sharpen your sixth sense for serious matches, will not be doing that. Get various Pokemon by link trades, will not be doing that either. I never really looked at hint medals before. I'm not going to make any effort toward this, I'll just get whatever medals I get. As I happen to play out this journey. Anyway, let's go home. I hear there's a gym now. Black 2! Oh, look, he's back. How did he get here so quickly? And why is he always jumping off of high places? Excuse me, I forgot to tell you something important. We had a whole interaction where you walked out of your house just to tell me something, and then you went back in. What else is you telling me? First, take these. Okay, orange berries, nice. Those are orange berries. If you give one to your Pokemon, its HP will be restored. What's more, you can give your Pokemon a berry to hold. Like this orange berry, for instance. When a Pokemon holds this berry, it can eat the berry if it gets hurt in the heat of battle and regain some of its lost HP. This is a funny explanation just because it feels a little bit out of order, you know? Like, this is an orange berry. If your Pokemon holds this, it can heal its HP. By the way, your Pokemon could use a berry if it's By the way, your Pokemon can hold a berry. And if it's holding a berry, it can use it. It's just kind of jumbled. But it works, I guess. Well, I told you to challenge the gym leader. Aspertia City's gym leader is a very strong Pokemon trainer, but you have nothing to worry about. If you think hard about what the Pokemon at your side can do and what you should do as a trainer, victory will be yours. And then you should take on stronger and stronger trainers. Actually, take on the gym leaders in each city. Working together with your Pokemon is what makes you grow as a trainer. As you and your Pokemon go stronger, your world will get broader. You know what? I poked some fun at Alder, but he actually did give me some decent training in the end, huh? Nice little type matchup drill. Nice little advice and encouragement. No, I don't know about ledge jumping. Boing. Whoa, that's so cool. Let me try. Boing. Okay, I actually do want to catch a Purloin while I'm on this route. It's not part of the team, but I might need to use Cut later. I don't want to teach Cut to Verano. So I actually am going to take a moment to try to catch a Purloin here, just to carry around for HM purposes. I believe Purloin is a 50% encounter. It's unlucky that I've had 3 encounters on this route and they've all been Patrat. Four Patrat in a row now. Gonna switch to this grass right on the edge. Come on. 5 Patrat in a row. Am I sure that I can find Purloin here? I think it's supposed to be a 50-50. Unless Cerebi gave me wrong information again. But Poke Earth is usually very good. But that is 6 consecutive Patrat. I'll go up to 10. And if in 10 encounters I don't find a Purloin, I'll bail. So this is 6 consecutive Patrat encounters on this route. 7. And the 8th one is a Purloin. If that is a 50% rate, wow. I don't know what else there's to say. I mean, that's math. It happens sometimes. Whatever exactly the chances of this were, obviously they were never 0. Anyway, no nickname or anything. I'll read the Pokedex entry. Their cute act as a ruse. They trick people and steal their valuables just to see the looks on their faces. That's pretty rude. But this Purloin is just here for HMs. But I have, just today, drafted Purloin in the Prismatic Draft League, so... we can see some Purloin gameplay over there, perhaps, depending on what I'm actually doing in the team builder and on the battlefield throughout the season. Have you found whatever you were planning to give me? Nope. There might not be a thing that she gives me. That might just be some silly dialogue, but I'll check again after the gym unless I forget. Since that will be next episode, and who knows what day I'm recording that. Anyway. Gym Leader Charon. The one who seeks the right path. Something about that rings a bell. But in this sleepy corner of the region, who's to say why? It's Let's go in, shall we? Apparently the Pokemon Trainer School is also the gym. This sure looks like a school. I asked Alder from Flockasy Town to teach her. He declined, saying it was the era of young people now. He just trains people casually on his own time? That does seem like him. And hey, he had me battle other young people. It's not like it was very hands-on training. Alder's ready to step aside. Hey, this game is already showing itself to be very much about generational change, right? This sleepy, quiet corner of the region is developing and changing. The old, retired ex-champion is stepping aside and allowing a new generation to step up. And of course, the current champion one is very young, as we know, if we've played this before. We got a vibrant, dynamic, diverse region with beauty around every corner. And part of that dynamicism and part of that beauty is in the changes that occur over time, like the changing seasons in their cycle. Everything comes together, huh? You know how you can have your Pokemon hold items? Well, it seems like they don't know how to use items made by people, like potions. But Alder told me they can use berries. The early game trainer schools always seem to have these status explainers. Curious about how much detail they go into. Paralysis reduces the speed stat. Burn reduces the attack stat. Yeah, they're saying the important bits, except like number of the range of sleep turns to wake up. They kind of use the same kind of language there for sleep and freeze. That hey, it might thaw or might wake up during battle. I guess they don't need to go into the details, but of course, veteran players know sleep is. I don't know what the actual range is in this game, but there's a certain number of turns during which you have a chance to wake up. And at the end of that range, before that range, you can't wake up, and after that range, or at the end of that range, it's guaranteed. Whatever the high end is. While freeze, I think, is just a flat percentage chance each turn to thaw indefinitely. Blackboard's not going to get into all that, but it did cover important things like stat drops from status. Do you use items during Pokemon battles? If you'd like, try using this. Oh. I don't generally use X items ever, but maybe that'll be useful against Charon. We'll see. Use X Defend to make a Pokemon's defense go up. I have an X Defend and a ton of potions. There is kind of a game plan coming together here, huh? A trainer's judgment about whether to use items or moves is important in battle. Actually, yeah, by talking to all these NPCs and stuff, if I'm a brand new player, I might have the beginning of a game plan coming together for this gym. That's kind of neat. Maybe I will do that. Just because I've had the idea. Just use an X Defend and potions as needed to power through with my starter. Against the gym leader, of course. Normal type Pokemon are weak to fighting type Pokemon. But the only Pokemon around here like that are the Riolu and Flockasy Ranch. If you're going to battle with a fire, water, or grass type Pokemon, it'll be a simple test of strength. Everything ties together. The simple test of strength is cool, and that is what we're going to be doing, but there we go. Calling out specifically the Riolu and Flockasy Ranch, so if you're playing the game blind and you don't know that rare encounter, you do if you talk to this NPC. You get rewarded for exploring there. And, like you said, the Riolu, not only is Riolu a rare encounter that's, you know, a very awesome and popular Pokemon once it's fully evolved, one that you don't normally get to find in the wild this early in the Pokemon series, and one that hasn't been available this early in a game before. But it is, I hadn't put it together myself, it is also the only Pokemon available up to this point with a type advantage against the first gym leader. So there you go. You do your exploring, you talk to this NPC, or you just get a lot of encounters in the grass, or you're just really lucky and you find one quickly. You get rewarded. Good stuff. This book nook over here. There's a technique that enables you to cancel evolution. Here, I'll read the textbook to you. You can surprise a Pokemon and stop its evolution by pressing the B button when a Pokemon is evolving. Are these books for Pokemon to read? I don't think so. She just read from one of them, unless she brought that textbook in here. Hey Black 2, how are your reading skills? I know you're not in school. Are these books for Pokemon to read? Alright, trying to make sense of that sign. Obviously this is, so we've been in the trainer school up to now. This is the entrance to the gym, I suppose, so to speak. These are the two pillars. They got the certified trainer's text. Got the welcome mat. They got whatever that sign is supposed to be. To the gym we go. out in the yard. And there's our guy. I meant Sharon, but Clyde's here too. Hello, I'm Clyde, the guide for trainers who challenge Pokemon gyms. Thank you for taking on the gym. Take this and commemorate your debut. Fresh water, don't mind if I do. Pokemon gyms are facilities for testing trainers' abilities. Facilities for testing abilities. Alright. Put simply, if you can defeat the gym leader, it means you're a really good trainer. If you run out of Pokemon that can fight during a Pokemon battle, you lose. So having a lot of Pokemon with you might work to your advantage. You must be a challenger. Look at our guy, he's so grown up 2 years later. Welcome to Aspertia City's Pokemon Gym. Taking on new responsibilities too. He's who's stepping... Hey, he aspired to Alder's level of strength, and then Alder kind of set him straight on finding other goals, figuring out what he wants to do with his strength. And now Alder is stepping aside. It's time for a new generation to step up, and look who's here, training brand new trainers, filling the void that Alder is intentionally leaving for people like him. Really solid development for Charon all around. Very glad to see him here. As he says, I'm Charon, the gym leader. Well, maybe I'd better say that I just became the gym leader. More importantly, we need to prepare before welcoming you to the gym. We have a challenger. You two, take your places. If you can defeat these two, then I'll be your opponent. And in keeping with the themes of growth and generational change, gotta love the implication that I am the very first person to challenge this gym. Let's make the most of that honor. Charon saw potential in me and made me a trainer in this gym. I like that we actually use the battlefield like this. My character sort of backs up and we clash right in the middle. You'd think that's where the Pokemon go while we're on the edges, but it's still a nice visual regardless. And yeah, the trainers are getting a little bit stronger. I think this is the strongest Patrat we've seen so far. It looks like it takes 2 water guns, which is not something we're used to. The water gun sound effect reminds me of like the old hydro pump sound effects in the early generations. It's a nice touch. Anyway, there goes the Patrat, but he also has a Lillipup. I didn't pay attention to how many Pokemon he had. I'm not bluffing or anything, I really didn't. And this is also a 3-hit KO with water gun. Uh-oh. I mean, good thing he's not making the most of these openings to attack, or I could be in trouble. Never mind, a crit. Okay. Didn't quite level up there, but there's still another gym trainer. If you could defeat the girl, too, you can challenge the gym leader. Alright, let's go challenge the girl, shall we? Hello, the girl. What do you have to say? Now I'll show you all the things I learned from Charon. We do the proper battlefield face-off again. The girl's name turns out to be Serena. I guess this gym is so new that the gym trainers don't really know each other yet. Serena starts off with a Lillipup. Water gun to the face, looks like a 3-hit KO. If she's using Odor Sleuth, I'm good with that. The water gun wasn't really lined up with the sprite, huh? It kind of looked like it started beside Oshawott. Thanks to Oshawott hopping around, I guess. It just hit at the wrong time in the animation to really look coherent. Anyway, focus energy. I'm down to delete water sport for that immediately. As promised, never clicked water sport a single time. I don't know if I'll ever click focus energy either, but it's a little more useful. At least in theory. And of course, our other Pokemon is Patrat. Saw that one coming. Ooh, almost a 2-hit KO. But okay, you're pretty good, but can you beat Charon? But with Serena, also known as the girl, now defeated, Charon is the only opponent left. And this game has just been throwing potions at me. I'm down to use a potion on Toronto right now. Instead of, oops, I hit B. Instead of going to the Pokemon Center between battles. I am down to give one of these Oran berries to Toronto. You know what? I have 5 Oran berries. I'll also give one to East York. But like I said, without the game super explicitly pushing me toward it, the items I've picked up and the NPCs I've talked to, I've kind of planted a game plan in my head. Charon is going to be relatively tough for this early in the game. That's why he gets to stand on this elevated platform. But, wow, he really just moved in, huh? But I'm going to send in Toronto, use an X defend, and just power through in a test of strength, using potions as needed. Climb up onto the platform, look at that forest. Once again, behind us. Talk to the gym leader from behind, which is kind of odd, but that is the way that lines up here. Guess he's new to being a gym leader. He doesn't know where to stand yet. Just as this is your first gym challenge, this is my first Pokemon battle as a gym leader. Let's both do our best and have a battle we can be proud of. And of course, Charon was one of those young trainers gunning for the championship just 2 years ago. And now, the start of my journey is the start of a new journey for him. The region grows and changes and stays dynamic. And here we are, each of us at a turning point, cooking up something new. Rare time I ever use an X item, but I feel like the game kind of steered me toward it a little bit. Oh, and he can set up. Didn't think about that. But it's test of strength time. Let's go. I also have an X attack, but that's not useful for water gun. No, but I crit the first one, so that's useful. I guess workup will be his TM, right? I think it was also the triplets TM in black, so in both versions, or in both time periods, so to speak. Oh, the Petrat will still get a chance to attack unless I crit it again. No. It's the first gym TM. Triplets, of course, didn't run a normal gym, but their gym didn't have a single type specialization, so giving it a normal TM makes sense. And workout is a fairly generic attack, +1 to each, fairly generic move, +1 to each attacking stat. Seems to be a wall for me to overcome. +1 to each attacking stat. Pretty solid, basic, helpful to a lot of strategies. First gym TM. Whether it's a weird gym like in black or a normal gym like in black 2. I meant normals in the type, but hey, that kind of flows, doesn't it? However, I'm not likely to get much use out of it, but we'll see. Probably rather have workup than focus energy. Worth thinking about. He has used a healing item already. Water Gun is looking like a 4-hit KO. I don't know if he has another healing item. This will send me into Oran Berry range. Might not need to use another potion. And if Toronto fates, I still have East York in the back, but I don't think it's going to happen. If he crit me there, it would have. But no crit. Thanks to the X defend, Toronto the Oshawott weathers the hits. Takes down Charon's Lillipup. And that is the first gym leader and a very familiar friend defeated. That battle has made me feel really glad you were my first challenger as a gym leader. I give you this in honor of the strength that you and your Pokemon showed. Recognize that? It's the same badge that Lenora gives out in Black and White. She has stepped away from gym leading, and Charon has pretty explicitly taken over for her, even as he's also moved the gym to a new emerging area in the region. Close to where Alder lives. Perhaps Alder had a hand in that. Mentor to Charon that he is. Who knows what the deal is there. It is kind of... I talk about how this area of the region is thriving and that it has so much it has a gym now. In fact, there's 2 gyms. Of course, there's one in Burbank City as well. But there are now no gyms in the eastern part of the region where the previous journey started. Obviously, that's kind of for gameplay reasons. It's kind of neat to have the early parts of the previous game be a post-game area to explore in this game, but I suppose you could say that as far as the development of the region goes, there are, as there are in real life, trade-offs to some of these growths and developments, but hey, I think Unova is still doing pretty well overall, and I think we're still going to have a fun time exploring the eastern part where the time comes. Anyway, here's our first gym badge, the basic badge. This is an important milestone. With this badge, Pokemon up to level 20 will obey you, including traded Pokemon. And I want you to take this. It is the Workup TM. TM83 can teach your Pokemon the move Workup. When you use Workup while battling, it raises the user's attack and special attack. By the way, TMs can be used as many times as you want. In the Unova region, there are 8 Pokemon gyms and 8 gym badges. If you're a trainer, you could collect all of them. That will make it easier to fill the pages of the Pokedex as well. Yes, 2 years ago, Pokedex in hand, I left on a journey with my friends. Any trails off there? Maybe Cheren and Bianca are both just feeling really nostalgic. And that's why they keep trailing off their statements. In the Unova region, there are 8 Pokemon gyms and 8 gym badges. Yes, 2 years ago, Pokemon Hand, I left on a journey with my friends. This must be a nostalgic thing, seeing a young trainer emerge like this for both of them. Like I said, maybe that's why they keep leaving the things that they're saying hanging. Anyway, very nearly 2 hours of playtime. But you definitely get your playtime's worth in this game. I'm not complaining about it taking that long to get the first badge at all. And with a really strong start to a really fun game, I think this is going to be a good playthrough. I'm looking forward to seeing more of the Unova region. I'm looking forward to giving the rest of Gen 5, the other half, after Black and White 1, its due. I'm looking forward to bonding with Pokemon that I haven't especially bonded with in the past. I think it's off to a good start already with Toronto and East York here. Actually, I'm going to move East York to the front of my party and save again, because I don't want to neglect her training next episode, just because I focused on Toronto for beating the gym. But that is episode 1 of Black 2, the second half of this marathon Unova Revisited series. And I hope you'll like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and stick around for the rest of this journey.